What's up, guys? Welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. Today, I will reveal to you guys which talent tree is the best for mass PvP. If you have watched some of my videos, I only care about what best for mass PvP. I don't give a shit about what best for 1v1. Rallying structure is a different story. So, how do I test them? Well, I definitely did not test them by one versus one somebody. One versus one is not my thing. I sometimes do my testing to expedition. It's very easy to test commander pairing and stuff using expedition, and you don't need to heal your troops. So you can just like do a lot of testing in here, like unlimited testing, and you don't need to. As long as you have the time to do your testing, you can just pick any of the expedition level and just do your testing there. Um, I can probably make a video on how you can test these things on your own using expedition in the future. Um, I also use many different commander pairings for my previous 3 KVK to test many of these things. Um, I don't have any number to show you that which talent tree is the best. Well, I can only tell you which is the best talent tree based on my own personal experience. So before we going into which is the best talent tree for mass PvP, let me just put it out there first. Defense is the best offense for mass PvP. Boosting your defense and health stats are extremely important in mass PvP. So if you had to choose between a 10% attack or a 10% defense rune or a 10% health rune, always go for defense or health stats boosts. So you probably figure out by now that defense talent tree is the best one. As I mentioned that defense is the best offense for mass PvP. So why defense is the best offense for mass PvP? Um, First, you need to understand the mechanic of how damage is calculated. One of the biggest factor in calculating damage is the number of units in your march. The more troops you have in your march, the more damage you deal. That's also the reason why people using army expansion, people using gems to buy 50% army expansion instead of 25% army expansion, because you deal more damage with the more troops you have in your march. Um, so if your march have more defensive skills or more defensive stat boosts, you take less AoE damage from the enemy. Uh, like in mass PvP, it's skill damage everywhere. Like you walk to a sea of enemy, you gotta take shitload of AoE damage. Um, you can also afford to make few mistakes here and there. If you get swarmed, you can probably still pull out and can still continue fighting. You will last longer on the open field and able to maintain higher number of troop counts compared to a march with like a more offensive skill. Um, a defensive march can deal more damage in the long run compared to an offensive march. So let's say, for example, you have Sun Tzu and YSG. So Sun Tzu using a skill talent tree, like can do a lot of skill damages. So he's more like an offensive march. Or compared to, let's say, so you compare Sun Tzu and YSG to, let's say, Richter and YSG. So Richter is more like a defensive march. So let's say you have a Sun Tzu and YSG march with 200k infantry units, and you have a Richter and YSG march with also 200k units. Let's say for the first 10-20 seconds, the two march, both casting the same active skill on one target. Sun Tzu and YSG will definitely deal a lot more damage compared to Richter and YSG, because Sun Tzu is a more offensive. Sun Tzu is built to be more offensive. So, but that only the first 10-20 seconds. But however, let's say if you compare Sun Tzu and YSG march with 100,000 infantry units compared to a Richter and YSG march with 170,000 infantry units. If these two marches both casting the same active skill on a same target, Richter and YSG will deal more skill damage compared to Sun Tzu and YSG, because we comparing 170,000 march with 100,000 march. Like, so why am I comparing two uneven marches? Like, why am I comparing 100,000 K march Sun Tzu YSG comparing to 170,000 marches Richter and YSG? Well, often in mass PvP, an offensive march often go down much faster than a defensive march. They don't have the ability to negate all of the damage they take. So that's where you often see that number right there. You will often see in mass PvP, your offensive march will often go down so fast, and then you don't have that. You cannot maintain the same number of units in your march comparing to defensive, like a more defensive march. So in the long run, an defensive march will also deal more damage than an offensive march. You don't want to compare the damage when they are both at full health. You want to compare the damage throughout the entire battle of like a mass PvP. Also, in mass PvP, you often need to refresh your marches. Um, a, a more defensive march will require less number of refresh time than a more offensive march. For example, if you fight at the ruin for like 60 minutes, a defensive march probably need to refresh like 5 times, and an offensive march probably need to refresh at least 10 times or even more. So let's say you need 2 minutes to refresh your march. So an offensive march lose out a total of 10 minutes compared to a defensive march. So if you calculate the damage per second for that 60 minutes of the ruin, the defensive march will have much better DPS as they stay longer in the ruin and they can deal more damage. So in terms of DPS, overall DPS, a defensive march, it actually deal more damage than an offensive march. So are you convinced yet that defense talent tree is the best for mass PvP? If not, another reason why infantry is the king in mass PvP is that many infantry commanders have access to the talent tree. We have Richard the First have a defense talent tree. We have Charm Mattel also had defense talent tree. We have Leo. Where's my Leo? Leo also have defense talent tree. The only non-infantry commander have defense talent tree is Artemisia, which is an archer commander. And another thing, if you haven't noticed yet, you don't see any epic commanders with a defense talent tree. Why? Because defense talent tree is the best. It is not available for epic commander for a reason. It's only available for legendary commanders. Only legendary commander allowed to have defense talent tree because it is the best talent tree. So Let's go to the defense talent tree and see why is it so good. Why is it the best talent tree? Where is my Witcher? So let's look at my Witcher the first, and his talent tree and his defense talent tree. So we have a burning blood. You get 6 rage every times. I think this is pre general here. I think all the talent tree also have the same thing. You have master of armorer. You get 1.5 times the commander star level. So 1.5 times 6, you get 9% defense stats boost. And I told you before, defense is the best offense. You get 9% defense here. Balance, you also get 3% damage reduction in return for you deal less 1.5% damage less. Again, damage reduction is by far one of the best stats in the game. Like, if I had to pick between either a 5% damage reduction or a 5% damage increase, I would always pick a 5% damage reduction, because you can like, it can be activated. It activates all the time, but you can use that damage reduction even if you're not attacking someone. Even if you just walk around and taking all the AoE damage, you take that damage reduction take in effect. Like, for the damage increase, you have to actively attack someone for that damage increase to take effect. So if you're not attacking anybody, that 5% damage increase is not helping you. But for damage reduction, even if you're not attacking anybody, you still have that 5% damage reduction. That's why damage reduction is the best stats in the game. So right here, we get 3% more damage reduction against defense is the best offense, another defensive skill right here. We have here a 10% chance to reduce all damage taken by 15% for 1 second again. This is probably not one of the best skill for the defense talent tree, as a 10% trigger is very low. I think overall for this, you probably get like 1 or 1.5% overall for the damage reduction, but still, it's still pretty good. Like, damage reduction, again, I'm telling you, it is the best stats in the game. Always go for the damage reduction. Let's look at another skill right here. No weakness, reduce damage taken again by 1.5%. Another defensive skill. You can walk around without attacking anybody, and this skill still take effect. If you get hit by an AoE skill, it take effect. You take 1.5% damage less. Counter attack damage by 1.5%. Counter attack damage increase is much better than normal attack damage increase. Why? If you attack somebody, you also deal counter attack damage, or if you being attacked by someone, you also deal counter attack damage. But like, if for a normal attack damage, it only works when you actually attack someone. If somebody attacking you, that normal attack damage does not work. So again, counter attack damage, I would say, one of the best stat boosts in the game as well. Very good for the defense talent tree. And what do we have here? Reduce skill damage taken by 9%. Again, this 9% skill damage taken reduction work all the time. You walk around, you walk into the sea of enemy, all the AoE in the area. If you get hit by some of the AoE, this 9% skill damage reduction will kick in, and you will take less damage. You will take less damage compared to like a more offensive March. They don't have the ability to negate all those skill damage taken. And one of the best by far, I think, in my opinion, one of the best skill for the defense talent tree is the medical supplies. After using a skill, you heal a portion of slide wounded unit of factor of 300. So your primary commander using active skill, you heal 300. Your secondary commander using active skill, you heal another 300. So a total of 600 healing. It's massive. I'm not even kidding. Look at Witcher. He healing a factor of 1400 total. And with the talent tree, like 600 is like what? Almost half of Witcher skill. And you know why? You know why healing is so good in mass PvP? Because I'm telling you, you're able to bring back all those slightly severely wounded units. You will have more troops inside your marches compared to a more offensive march. So in the long run, you don't need to refresh. Like you don't need to refresh as often as someone who doesn't have a healing skill. So medical supplies is by far, in my opinion, by far the best skill for the defense talent tree. If you using the defense talent tree, it is a must get skill. You can't ignore this skill over here, like the pseudo formation, but medical supply is a must get skill for the defense talent tree. Uh, you don't have to worry about the talent tree. It doesn't affect your ability to deal more damage or reduce the damage taken. But defense talent tree by far like the best talent tree out there. It gives you so much damage reduction. So much damage reduction. A lot of defense stat boost. Lots of skill damage reduction. Like, and that's why no epic commanders have access to the defense talent tree. I've been waiting for almost 2 years for a new epic commander to come out with a defense talent tree, and there was none. Like almost 2 years for me waiting. So I hope after you watching this video, you can decide more on like which commander you should be investing on, because some commanders come with the defense talent tree. Especially, I think the new commander Artemisia. If you like an archer player, I strongly recommend you to invest in her. Put all the golden star on her. Make her your primary commander. She will be very good on the open field. Like defense talent tree is not easy to come by. You're not gonna be able to get it on a non-infantry commander. It was very nice of Lilith to give the archer a little bit more tankiness now by providing them with the defense talent tree for the commanders. So if you an archer player, this is a must get legendary commander for archer focused player. If you had to pick between Ramses and Artemisia, which commander to get to level 60, Artemisia all the way. All the way. There was no question about it. And if you are an infantry player, you need the legendary commander to level 60. You need Richard, you need Charmatel, you need Leo to level 60. You want them to be the primary commander so you can utilize that defense talent tree. Once again, thanks you for watching, guys. I hope this video helped you guys.